Hi, I'm Meg Farrell.
And I'm Ricky Alexander.
And welcome to On the Back Porch, Season 3.
Yes, and we're very excited today to talk to Mark Shane. You can hear him on Turtle Bay Records' A Song in Our Soul by the Palomar Trio, and he is an expert pianist in early jazz and blues. He loves Teddy Wilson. Let's go talk to him.
Something you talked about in our when we were emailing a little bit, you said that you were with, some sort of student thing, and you asked if they had any people they looked up to or mentors or someone, and you said no one raised their hand.
Right.
And you were shocked, and you were like, well, you told them all that's going to be an uphill battle unless you have someone to look up to.
That's right.
And I thought it was cool that you felt so passionate about that, and I want to know why you think that's so important for musicians to have people like that.
I think it's extremely important for young players that are just starting out to have a model. You have to apprentice yourself in a certain way to somebody. Mm-hmm. You don't get it out of a book. For instance, let's say a guy wants to be a running back in football. You're not going to get it out of a library book. You're going to have to watch the tube and watch what the running backs do. When you want to play, you have to listen to what successful players, how they do it. Give yourself a model, and nobody raised their hand. And I said to myself, how are you ever going to get where you want? And they all wanted to play jazz. I said, well, that's, you have to get yourself a model.
Yeah, and then so who are your models when you were growing up? Where did it start for you?
My education in the world of jazz music is kind of very, very circuitous and lopsided. I didn't start from the back, from the very beginning of jazz and go in a straight line upward. There was a fellow on my street who had a deck, and he had big speakers on the deck. And he would play Count Basie records, and he would play Ahmad Jamal records. And that's where I got hooked on bass players, Israel Crosby. And I was subjected to what you might call mainstream type of playing at a very early age. I continued listening to things. Gone were the lessons. And I said, I don't want any more lessons. I'll get my stuff from the radio. Nelson Riddle arrangements, Billy May, Don Costa, all the great arrangers. I have big ears for that. I would hear these arranging lines, and get my harmony from listening to the radio. Also, a little bit later on, became aware of the things that were coming out on the Verve label, Norman Grand's label. For instance, the Ella Fitzgerald songbooks, the Billie Holiday on Verve. And I said, whoa, that's how you do that. Okay. So I had a teacher in Boston. I went to Boston. My mother said, you got to go to music school. I said, Ma, I don't want to teach. I'm not cut out to be a teacher. I just want to play. Go to music school. So they were eager for me to get the paper. So I went to music school, and that didn't last too long. I had a private teacher outside, and I was still trying to fathom where I belonged in the world of jazz. So I went to him, and he said, okay, I got it. We're going to study a Charlie Parker solo. I said, okay, I have ears. Learn this solo, come back next week. I got big ears. I learned the solo. I learned to play it. I learned to sing it. I learned all the things. Come back next week. He said, okay, we'll put the record on, and you're going to sing with the record. Okay, that was Lenny Tristano's method of educating jazz wannabes. If you don't, you're going to do it again, and then finally there's the door. So I did it. Mm-hmm. And the next week he said, we're going to learn another Charlie Parker solo. So this went on for 3 weeks, and he was ready to go on to the 4th Charlie Parker solo. I said, you know something, I could sing this stuff, I can play this stuff, but it's not hitting me emotionally. I want to listen to Coleman Hawkins. I want to listen to Lester Young. I want to listen to Zoot Sims. I want to listen to mainstream players who hit me in the gut, with their playing. And so I left that, and then I learned that's what you've got to do. You've got to listen to solos. You've got to listen to players. You've got to apprentice yourself to players.
April skies are in your eyes, but darling, don't be don't be that way. Stars in the sky should never make you feel that way. The rain will bring the violets of May. Tears are in vain, so honey, please don't be that way. As long as we see this through, you have me, and I have you, sweetheart. Tomorrow is another day. Don't break my heart, honey, please don't be that way.
You mentioned Ahmad Jamal. I got to talk to him once, and he said that he thinks orchestrally. And you also mentioned you listening to these Basie records on your porch. When you're arranging and the way you think of a song, is that something you consider?
Well, I think when I think of, not so much arranging, because I don't do a whole lot of arranging, but when I play, especially for a singer, I don't duplicate what the singer does. I play other things within the harmony. And I didn't learn that from him. He was important because of Israel Crosby. When I heard that bass, I just went out of my mind. I said, that's it.
It's
That's,
groovy. Yeah.
Oh, boy, was it groovy. Yeah, but I think I've listened to a lot of arrangements. I listened to string lines, woodwinds, brass, but I try to stay out of the way of the singer. Did you know that Billie Holiday wasn't crazy about the support that she received from Oscar Peterson?
Really?
She loved Jimmy Rolls,
But Teddy Wilson is also,
but that was earlier. I'm talking about the
later.
Verve, the Verve stuff.
yeah.
The Verve stuff.
He didn't give her enough space. Is that why?
Oscar played a lot.
Yeah, I
But
can imagine him at the same
I'm not
time.
taking anything away from him. Fantastic player. So meanwhile, in the background lurked the humongous presence of Art Tatum, and it scared me to death. And I think rightfully so. Over the years, I've approached it closer and closer to glean what I could, not to be a Tatum. No one can be a Tatum, but there's aspects of a lot of different players that are valuable. Teddy Wilson was really important in my life. I think he played great for Billy. He arranged wonderfully. I really went through a heavy-duty Teddy Wilson period.
Yeah, those are my favorite. I mean, I'm a big Billie Holiday fan, but particularly
The
Teddy
30s?
Wilson,
The 30s.
Billie Holiday, that era of swing stuff is just, and just what you said about, I think that's just an art form of when you're working with singers or any lead, where you find the space surrounding it is important. How do you fill in the space? How do you not fill in the space?
How do you
What
not-
do you not play?
Right.
That's
I
important.
don't want to see dirty looks from the singer.
Because I have one more question I was wondering about, because you've done a lot of different things as a piano player. You backing up singers, your own stuff. You said soundtracks, recording,
Yeah.
live recording. What's your what is your favorite thing you think to do? Is it solo piano? Is it big band?
Yeah, no,
What's your
I
favorite?
like solo piano.
And why? Why is it your favorite?
Because I'm free to do what I prefer to do there, to place my own harmony, my own lines within the harmony. Playing with a bigger band, it has its challenges. You can't just play anything. You've got to listen to what the sections are doing and try to fit in. And there's a lot of trying to fit in.
But it makes sense you like with your background. It makes sense that you would like the solo because it sounds like you have a lot of different pieces of different eras that you love, and you've liked to miss. It doesn't sound like you're trying to emulate one person. It sounds like
No.
you've created your own voice. So
No.
of course, yes, solo piano. You can just kind
I
of
don't-
mix them all together.
Exactly.
In one pot.
I don't want to emulate any one person. I found that sometimes when you bury yourself in one person, you get lost in that person, and that's what takes over your musical personality. And I didn't want that to happen.
Yeah.